I'm leaving a reveal between the outside of this metal and the wood. It's only about a 1/16, but I got to make it uniform all the way around. So this little area right in here is always real touchy. It's just a hard place to work with. It's even worse if it's got a line, a crease, like on round knob Brownings. It's worse than doing it with a dip. If you'll notice, I've left my pencil line, center line, and I've formed like a ridge, just kind of a sharp ridge there. I'll tone that down some, but I'm going to leave that little bit of a crease. It's a softened crease, and that's one of my trademarks on my stocks. I don't round that right there. I leave a little crease. It grips your fingers, that joint of your fingers right there. It'll just it lays in there, and it's just a solid grip. When you grip that pistol grip, it just wraps around, it fits. I'm keeping my eye on this reveal between here and this metal. I'm keeping that reveal constant. It's a little fat right over here. I've still got to take a little bit more off right over here, but where I'm sanding, I'm always watching this and this edge up here. I got about 1/8 of an inch from that mill to the right there, and I'm just easing over to it. I'm not completely sanding against that little flat. By the time I get done sanding, I will be against that flat. But this is only 100 grit paper, so I got a long way to go. All right, I put these screws in. It's actually been a few weeks ago now, but they're square. They're just rough, and I've got to mill these down by hand to this same contour of the bottom of the grip cap. Now when that's blued, that'll be a matte finish. This little ring right here is more polished. It'll be more of a high gloss blue finish, and those screws will have the same texture as that bottom cap. I've got to thin this down. Up in here, this is rough. Before I know how to sculpt this into that, I've got to get this to the right width right there. So I'm going to have to flip this thing up, do some measuring and centering up, and like so, before I go much further. I've got to sand this cheek piece down. It's got some grinder marks on it still from when I was shaping it, and I'm close enough at this point that I can sand this from here to here. I just can't go from there on out. I can work this down while it's in this position. .344. .302. Wow, I think it's 40 thousandths smaller on this side than this side as far as the distance between the inside of the milling and the outside of the stock. That's a lot. This is a factory stock. I want to make this thickness the same as the factory, and overall the width at this point where the back of this is milled out, overall that width is 1.799, which I'm about 1/8 of an inch too big, at least 1/8 of an inch. So I gotta really bring this thing down back here at the back of the receiver. The thickest place, the widest place in this whole stock is about 2 inches behind this mill cutout right there, and it is really fatter right there than anywhere else. It drops off in front of that, and it drops off behind that. So the fattest place in here is about right there. And I'm about right there now, real close. So I've got to get some sizes down, some dimensions. I got to make my dimensions here, 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 and on out. After I get the dimensions done, then I can keep on shaping. .344. I'm about 40 something thousandths too thick, but that's close enough for this plane because I've got to still leave myself room to sand. That grain does not like being cut that direction. And my shoulders don't like running it this direction. Actually, I'm going to have my left shoulder replaced first of the year, so this kind of work's going to be put on hold. For a few months. That's real close.